Port Charles never fails to deliver the drama, and this week's General Hospital episode had fans glued to their screens as two powerful figures, Michael Corinthos and Nina Reeves, finally clashed in a confrontation that's been brewing for months. The tension between them has been thick enough to cut with a knife, but this time, it boiled over into a heated face-off that could change everything for the Corinthos and Reeves families. The episode perfectly balanced emotion, history, and high-stakes manipulation, classic GH storytelling at its best. So, let's dive into what made this confrontation one of the most electric scenes of the season. A collision of secrets and betrayals. The animosity between Michael and Nina didn't start overnight. Their feud has deep roots, spanning Carly's heartbreak, Sonny's betrayals, and the ever-twisting web of family secrets that define the Corinthos clan. But now, the truth is out in the open. Nina was the one who turned Carly and Drew into the SEC. When Michael learned the full extent of Nina's betrayal, the moment carried more than just rage. It was loaded with years of resentment and mistrust. Nina, always walking the fine line between victim and villain, tried to justify her actions. She claimed she was only protecting her relationship with Sonny and acting out of desperation. But for Michael, the excuses fell flat. "You destroyed my mother's life because you couldn't control your jealousy," Michael shot back, his voice shaking with fury. Nina's eyes filled with tears, but Michael's expression remained stone cold. There was no sympathy left, only the bitter satisfaction of calling her out. Nina's desperation and Sonny's blind spot. One of the most fascinating parts of the episode was watching Nina's fear begin to take over. She's been living in a constant state of dread, waiting for her secret to come to light. Now that it finally has, she's desperate to cling to Sonny, to convince him that she's the woman who truly loves him, unlike Carly, who moved on with Drew. But there's a tragic irony here. In trying so hard to keep Sonny by her side, Nina may have ensured the exact opposite. Sonny's world runs on loyalty and truth, two things Nina shattered. The scene between Michael and Nina wasn't just a confrontation. It was a mirror held up to Nina's own insecurities. Every time Michael accused her of selfishness or deceit, you could see the flicker of doubt in her eyes. Nina wanted to fight back, but her conscience kept getting in the way. In one heartbreaking moment, she whispered, "I never wanted to hurt anyone." Michael's icy reply, "Then you shouldn't have." Michael's transformation, from schemer to protector. For a long time, Michael's storylines have revolved around revenge, his vendetta against Sonny, his manipulative business tactics, his thirst for control. But this confrontation with Nina showed a new side of him. He's still angry and vengeful, yes, but there's also a deep sense of protectiveness, especially toward his mother, Carly, and his wife, Willow. Michael knows how much Nina's actions have cost them all. Carly nearly lost her freedom, Drew spent months behind bars, and Willow's fragile peace with her biological mother was obliterated. Michael's anger is justified, but it's also coming from a place of deep love. That's what makes this face-off so powerful. It's not about dominance, it's about family. And for the first time in a long while, Michael feels like the real Corinthos heir, calculated, emotional, and utterly loyal to those he loves. The emotional undercurrent, Willow caught in the middle. One of the quietest yet most compelling aspects of this storyline is Willow's position between them. Nina is her biological mother, while Michael is her husband and the father of her children. The tension is unbearable. Willow is torn between forgiveness and loyalty, compassion and survival. When Willow walked in during the confrontation, the room went still. Her expression said everything: heartbreak, confusion, and exhaustion. She's fought so hard to create peace between these two forces in her life, only to see it collapse before her eyes. For Willow, the scene wasn't just about who was right or wrong. It was about realizing that some wounds can't be healed with apologies. Michael's fury and Nina's tears were two sides of the same coin, pain and betrayal that run too deep to forget. Nina's downfall, or her redemption arc. After the confrontation, Nina was left shattered. Her world, once built on hope and illusion, came crashing down around her. Sonny's silence said more than any words could. He's seen betrayal before, but never from someone who claimed to love him this much. So what comes next for Nina Reeves? That's the million-dollar question. General Hospital loves a redemption arc, and Nina's story has always flirted with tragedy. She's a woman who wants to be loved, accepted, and forgiven, but she often destroys everything she touches in her pursuit of those things. This could be the beginning of a major shift for her character. Maybe she'll truly face the consequences this time, or perhaps she'll spiral even further, losing Sunny, Willow, and everything she holds dear. Either way, Cynthia Watros continues to deliver powerhouse performances that make Nina impossible to ignore. A classic GH Power showdown. This episode had everything fans crave: emotional fireworks, family loyalties, moral gray areas, and pitch-perfect performances. The writing allowed both characters to stand their ground. Michael's righteous fury met Nina's raw vulnerability, creating a scene that was less about shouting and more about truth. You could feel decades of General Hospital history pulsing in every word. The show has always thrived on complex rivalries: Luke versus Helena, Sunny vs. AJ, Carly versus Ava, and now, Michael versus Nina joins that legendary list. Every glance, every line of dialogue felt like a chess move. Nina tried to appeal to Michael's sense of decency. Michael countered with cold facts. It was less of a fight and more of a reckoning, and one that may reshape the entire Corinthos empire. Final thoughts. The fallout begins. By the time the episode ended, viewers knew the fallout would be explosive. Sunny's loyalty will be tested. Carly will seize the moment to protect her family. Willow will struggle with guilt, and Michael will have to decide whether exposing Nina to Sunny is worth destroying what little peace remains. In true General Hospital fashion, the confrontation didn't provide closure. It cracked open a dozen new storylines. Will Sunny stand by Nina or turn his back? Will Willow forgive her mother or finally cut ties? And how far will Michael go to make Nina pay for what she did? Perky's final observation. This wasn't just another soap opera argument, it was a masterclass in emotional storytelling. Two flawed, passionate people facing the consequences of their choices in a town where secrets always find their way to the surface. One thing's certain: after this fiery face-off, Port Charles will never be the same again.